were just chatting during the break, and you were saying what a busy time of year this has been for you guys with sick babies.
It's been a very busy summer, which is sad for a lot of families, but what I find rejoice is that they're coming in. So we're getting to at least take care of so many and help mend things and heal them versus sitting on issues. So we're seeing quite a few come in,
And I know you see a lot of different issues, but there are some recurring themes. Let's talk about something that's kind of uncomfortable. Other dog attacks.
That's our #1 emergency.
Really?
And that's not something really spoken about or talked about. And even families who bring their pet in for a dog attack are surprised to hear that we've had 5 come in the hour previous before them. It's so common. And the sad part is that more than half of those cases are actually dog on dog in the same household. So we think of the sibling rivalry, but it's actually much worse than that. These are housemates that attack each other kind of out of the blue, or there might be a backdrop of a little bit of aggression. We've had innocent little babies go out to the mailbox with their owner and be attacked by a random dog as well, and that's fairly common too. So sadly, dog attacks, dog fights are for sure our #1 every day.
And if there is any kind of injury, don't hesitate. Always bring them in to get them checked out, right?
Correct. You can quickly underestimate. They have all their hair, just like text. It'd be hard to actually see bruises or minor issues, which underneath could be very significant. A small hole could be a hole or entry into a very vital cavity. So it's best to just get an exam and a consult. At minimum, maybe they need antibiotics, but also we got to address the elements of pain and comfort. A sprained ankle hurts us, and we rush to our medicine cabinet. So for them, medication at the bottom line, if it's an excellent outcome and a minimal injury, you still walk away with good medication, good advice, and pain management.
Okay, let's talk about another very common issue, and these are digestive issues.
Yes, definitely our strong #2. Almost everything has a vomiting, diarrhea backdrop that seems to present to animal ER. And part of that and most of the issues we never brush off even by phone. We'll get phone calls, my pet vomited once or twice. Is this a problem? We never really ride that out as not a big deal, because often they can come in and we might find a sundry of things on a physical exam. Vomiting, diarrhea can come from pancreatitis. It can come from eating things that they shouldn't eat, like my dog, who tends to get into the trash or the litter box and things.
Eating out of the trash?
Out of the...
What's wrong with that?
Yes. All sorts of things come from there. So definitely vomiting, diarrhea, at minimum, just like you and I, we can have digestive upset and we can medicate that and be fine the next day. But dogs can extend beyond that and maybe need IV fluids or other treatment.
And also things that are growing in our backyard, even like the sago palm, which hopefully a lot of people know that is poisonous for dogs.
Yes, we mentioned that in the spring, and that's still a problem. We've actually had one within the last month in the hospital being treated for sago, and the #1 sign for sago palm is vomiting. #2 is diarrhea.
All right.
Good.
There's also, I had a dog that did this once, foreign body ingestion. So they're eating something. It was a rock with pine needles, and it was lodged in the duodenum, basically the opening of the stomach and the intestines. So didn't know that, just the dog wasn't moving. So I knew something was wrong.
Right. It's a subtle sign with a big problem hidden inside, and that goes from the trash can eating that we just mentioned all the way into, we recently had surgery on a dog who ate a corn cob. So that's edible in essence, but it doesn't digest. And so it definitely, as it transits all the way through and ends up getting lodged. And so items, my own dog just chewed a prone collar last week. So I'm watching for collar concerns or potential surgery needs for her. So it happens to all of us, veterinary alike and everybody else, but they do get commonly very curious and they'll ingest things that they don't know are a problem, but it's up to us to look out for that.
Are there any indications though, like let's say your dog does swallow a sock or a hair tie or something that was just on the floor at the house. What are some of the signs that they have swallowed something that shouldn't be in their stomach?
The tricky thing is if it's small enough, it can be a partial blockage, which means it moves every now and then or just rocks around and causes irritation. The #1 thing is just a change in appetite, particularly if you have a dog that's just ravenous for every meal and suddenly pulls back and has less interest. We should pay attention to that. Vomiting is kind of a key component. If things are not moving, we're going to have backup and then it's going to come out. So vomiting is typically one of our #1 complaints, but as well depression. If the pet's just laying around more than normal, that can be chalked up to so many problems. But if they have a history of chewing things or eating things or habits of that, definitely let your veterinarian know, and that's going to trick us into, let's just at least do an x-ray or an evaluation.
Yeah, because that's what you would need.
Absolutely, and if they pass that test, which is what I tell my clients, and there's not something there, we can all rest assured versus sit on an issue that could become a major problem.
Absolutely. It was our pug that had it, and you put a little pug x-ray up there, and boom, we saw that rock. Had to have surgery. It was very scary. The next thing is that common thing that you see is allergic reactions.
Yes, and it's stings have been the #1 thing this year. I have seen so many bee stings. I'd say in my capacity of 23 years of emergency medicine. Allergic reactions have reached their limit this year, but bees more than anything, even compared to spring and the previous summers, we've had a few dogs actually die from bee stings. So that's a very significant change this season compared to previous. I don't know why, but something we should be very aware of. So if they're swelling or having intense itching, maybe even just vomiting and laying down after they've been in the yard, it would be wise to get them checked out in case there is an allergic reaction going on.
Don't ignore that.
No.
All right, you mentioned this earlier, that humans, you know, sprained ankle hurts us, but a lot of animals have soreness or injury from regular playtime, right?
Just like, I mean, if you and I took off running down the road, you know, and had a misstep, we might be a little sore, achy. They do the same thing. They don't hold back, and so the hard part is it's fun to throw the ball, it's fun to have the toy time, and they're going to go 100% until we quit playing with them, oftentimes. So that can lead to recurrent injuries, but also if they're hiding arthritis or have some other developments, they're not going to share that with us until they have a tougher day. And so soreness by far is a very common presenting issue in the ER. And again, it could be minor in resorting to, if they're sore and they're limping, that equates to pain. So for me, that's emergency. They need something for comfort. But from that, you know, let's go ahead and take a deeper look and find out if there's a true serious injury here, maybe even a bone tumor. You know, it can be multiple things depending on the age, but torn ligaments, you know, knee injuries, and just like football players, that can be a very common problem.
And also remember, heat exhaustion, burn paw pads, and airway and respiratory issues as well. All of those things can affect our pets.
Keep an eye out. Dr. Jennifer Hennessey, great to see you. Thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you.
And a reminder that if you do have a pet emergency, Dr. Hennessey's Animal ER is in Cypress, and to connect with her, you can visit the Scene on Houston Life section of our website.
Great to see you.
Thank you, you too.